Hey team, this is True Love here with a discussion video in regards to Dozing Kyoshiro, Zoro the Wandering Ronin, and the most beautiful woman in Wano, Kozuki Hiyori. I think Zoro's finally going to be tested post-time skip. I think we're being set up for a massive fight between Zoro and Kyoshiro. Let me tell you why. Within recent chapters, it looks like Hiyori has taken a shining to Zoro. The mysterious Kyoshiro has also been saying and doing things that clearly lead us to believe in a connection between himself and Hiyori. Zoro, as always, is on the lookout for a good fight and to increase his skills. We're introduced to Kyoshiro in the beginning of the Wano arc. He's shown heavily intoxicated, slurring his words as he talks a bit of shit about Shogun Orochi and Lady Toki's prophecy. Similar to Kaido, his mood seems to swing rapidly when he's drunk. As in this scene, we see him falling over laughing, being creepy, telling a ghost story, and literally falling asleep. All of this we see in the space of 2 pages. These are some important character traits of Kyoshiro. It's made clear that he's quite rash. It's also clear that he doesn't really respect Shogun Orochi. And despite him dismissing Lady Toki's prophecy, he also knows the words off his heart. He knows them from memory, so something to think about there. We were first introduced to Kozuki Hiyori under a different name, of course, Kumurasaki, the Oiran, or top geisha in the flower capital. The 2 names seem to quite clearly separate the 2 sides of Hiyori. As Kumurasaki, we saw her manipulate and extort people, using her beauty to bewitch men into trusting her before swindling them of their life savings and being entirely cold, showing zero remorse for them in their mistake. This is a side that we initially see connected to Kyoshiro as she hangs around the Yakuza family in the Pleasure District. We actually get to see another side of her at the banquet when she stands up to Orochi for threatening Toko. She says that her father was a samurai. She will never back down when she knows that she's right. This changing character seems to be cemented and seemingly ended, as far as we can tell at this point, after Kyoshiro kills her. He slices her in front of Orochi and tells him it's because she disrespected him and that just can't be forgiven. The next time we see her is at Oihagi Bridge, while she's being pursued by Kamozo. She runs into Zoro, who's fighting Yukimaru, and her demeanor has changed. She pleads with Zoro for help. She agrees to feed him and give him booze if he helps her. And then she does it, as opposed to Kumurasaki, who we met, who had promised the world to people, promised her heart to people, and she went back on her word constantly. Soon after this, we actually get the big reveal that she is indeed Lady Hiyori. Lots of people saw this coming. It was made quite obvious, almost too obvious for Oda standards. I've said before, I thought it was a complete red herring. I thought he was going to go another direction, but no, she is Hiyori. It'll be quite interesting to see how her personality and demeanor changes when she's inevitably reunited with Kyoshiro. My favorite Straw Hat, Zoro, has had some fun in Wano so far. He seems to be fulfilling the kind of wandering Ronin archetype from Japanese history and media. Things like him showing up in town from a place far away, fighting Yukimaru, the Benkei character, on Oihagi Bridge, defeating a mysterious and villainous mass murderer, defeating the legendary swordsman in Ryuma. I know that was in Thriller Bark, but the trope of Zoro carrying a legendary sword, which he acquired after defeating a legendary swordsman from the country that he's in, it still fits the bill. So we're really coming to a head now in the New World where Zoro hasn't been tested. He's smashed his way through Fishman Island, through Hyozo, and almost through Hody as well. Punk Hazard, he one-shot Monet. He took slightly longer against Pika, but only due to Pika actually fighting quite intelligently and using his Devil Fruit to stall out Zoro. Zoro still had the capacity to one-shot one of Dofi's top crew members. In Wano as well, Zoro, the only real fight we've seen him start and finish was against Kamozo, who he's one-shotted after he actually exclaimed that Kamozo was really powerful. So why do I think Zoro will fight Kyoshiro? Well, that's where Hiyori comes in. So Kyoshiro has been shown to look after her in the Pleasure District, protecting her from the men she's wronged, He's been shown to, he killed her in front of her enemies to actually save her, to get her off their radar, to get her out of danger, and yet to really remove her as a target to them. He also stated that he would be the one most affected by her death. These are all indicators that he cares for her and is protective of her, whether as a Yakuza boss who has raised this girl from a child to the Oiran, or whether as maybe some kind of retainer from the Kazuki family. Maybe he knows her secret. We don't even know what his motivations are as yet. What we do know, though, is that even the lowest ranking members of his Yakuza family, he has stated that he sees them as his literal family once he's exchanged sake cups with them. She appears to be a member of, or at least affiliated with, his family. Whilst Kyoshiro looks over her, she's recently met Zorojuro. She drops her prideful nature, she's obviously in an extreme circumstance, and begs Zoro to save her and Toko from Kamazo the assassin. She watches on as Zoro overpowers Kamazo whilst he injures himself. This is where her relationship with Zoro begins. She looks at him endearingly as she's healing him, tells him to take it easy and rest as she's healing his injury. She also acknowledges that he got it for their sake, in protecting them. Zoro quickly dismisses it, but it's not about what Zoro thinks, it's about what she thinks, what Hiyori thinks. She sees that he got that injury as he was protecting them. It was a price he paid to protect her and Toko's life. We see how she grabs his arm to try and convince him to stay in bed. She buries her face into him quite caring and lovingly. It's also clear from the reaction panel in the Zoro vs Kamazo fight. She says, such strength, or what strength, or something. She respects his power as a samurai. She can tell that, he's a samurai, and a strong one at that, which is saying something big in Wano. It's quite easy to see her attracted to him, and that a traditional woman from Wano, which she is, would be attracted to the attributes that Zoro possesses. So Kyoshiro protects Hiyori. Hiyori is pining for Zoro. Why would Zoro be interested in Kyoshiro? Well, of course, it's because of his strength, and he's a powerful swordsman. Zoro wants to become the world's greatest swordsman. He has to test himself against the strongest people he can possibly find. The only person who is wanting to see Zoro tested post-time skip in the New World more than the millions of fans of One Piece is Zoro himself. Unfortunately, we've got zero power scaling of Kyoshiro, but the amount of attention and page time that he's had in the Wano arc has made it quite clear that he's going to be a big player. We know that the previous leader of the Yakuza in Hyogoro the Flower used to be a bit of a player. He was strong, he was respected by Odin. Kyoshiro, as a new leader of the Yakuza, I think it's fair to assume that he'd be on the same power level as Hyogoro, who was respected by Odin, who are, the top tier of Wano. With Hiyori being introduced to Zoro, we now have a fantastic lead-in. We have a fantastic bridge to Zoro meeting Kyoshiro and actually having a catalyst to make them fight over in Hiyori. I can see Kyoshiro wanting to test Zoro after he sees Hiyori's interest in him, and I can vividly picture in my head Zoro just grinning and going beast mode, only too happy to oblige in a sword fight with Kyoshiro in testing himself against a samurai from Wano. So I know a love triangle is the wrong word for it. There's very little love in there in the romantic sense, but Kyoshiro protects Hiyori, Hiyori falls for Zoro, Zoro fights rivals and onwards. That's what I believe is going to be happening in the near future in Wano. So that's it for this discussion video. If you've watched it this far, please leave a like below so that I know, and let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think is the direction we're going for in Wano? I'm TrueLove, and bye-bye.